¿Qué pasa YouTube? Soy Galadite 74 aquí, trayendo a todos ustedes la última semana de la APM. Esta semana nos enfrentamos a Samuel y los Luxrays de Caracas. Si puedes entender esto, Jed me está hablando el habla español. Por favor, envía a yoga. I'm going into this game with a 9-1 record, while Samuel is going into this game with a 4-5 record. Now, at the time of this battle, he was actually going into this game with a 4-5 record, but he ended up being 4-6 because technically he was supposed to face Huff before me, but instead I faced him before Huff. Though, even though it says on the thumbnail 4-6, thus he'll be knocked out of playoffs, because I thought he was 4-5 at the time, and he was 4-5 at the time, he could still be in the playoffs. Thus, I'm not bringing my greatest team against him. So it is going to be rather much of a harder battle than it could have been. But ultimately, he's knocked out of the playoffs. To recap what we did last time against Samuel, we faced him in the regular season of the APM twice, and we beat him both times rather badly. So I apologize to that. Slazzle did really dirty things to his team, but I expect this game to be a lot closer as opposed to the other two games. But without further ado, we're going to go into his team and break it down. Breaking down Samuel's team consists of Tornadus with Z-moves, Rabombi, Donphan, Silvally, Rotomo Z-moves, Sawk, Typhlosion, Clawitzer, Kingler, and Aldino. I would expect him to bring consist of Tornadus, Rabombi, Donphan, Silvally, Typhlosion, and Aldino. He could drop the Aldino for Kingler or Rotomo, but I'm sort of expecting the 6 I had mentioned. Biggest threat on his team, easily, is the Typhlosion. A Choice Specs Eruption, and even a Choice Scarf Eruption, comes in, clicks Eruption, something dies. That's how it goes. At least if it's Spec, something definitely dies. I do not have Fire Spam. Eruption Spam is really good against my team, so that's why I need rocks up on the field, or I need him to switch into an attack just so Eruption gets a little bit weakened and it becomes a little bit less of a threat. So that's something I'm going to take big priority of throughout the game. Hurricane Spam is also really good against my team. That's why Tornadus is a little bit scary as well. I do have Empoleon, which is a relatively good switch in, but it also does get worn down throughout a battle, so I can always switch into Hurricane so many times. Luckily, Hurricane does have a good chance to miss, unlike Eruption, and that's why Typhlosion is the bigger threat. Another thing I wanted to mention is that Silvally is a little bit annoying. It could be any type, so you sort of have to prepare for it in the moment. And finally, Rabombi does get webs, so I did have to prep for webs this week, which is very problematic. And even defogging against this team is really hard because Tornadus has Defiant. A bulk up Defiant Acrobatics Tornadus could be a big threat against my team, so I definitely have to prepare for that as well. But luckily, Fire and Fighting Spam is really good against his team, so you bet Blaziken's going to come and put in the finest of work this week. His Fighting Resists don't want to take a Flare Blitz, so I don't think he's going to be really hesitant to switch in to a Fighting Resist Mon if I could click a Fire move and just knock it out. And finally, even though his only recovery is Aldino, which is relatively easy to take advantage of, I'm not actually bringing Spikes this week because he's got every good low tier defogger in the entire game for whatever reason, so that was not an option. So I just have to rely on chipping him down with various attacks and having my Scarf Blaziken spoilers clean up the game. So that is going to be the breakdown. My team this week is going to be consisting of Mesprit, Roserade, Blaziken, Empoleon, Simipour, and Togetic. So as I just mentioned, the first one I'm bringing is Mesprit. Mesprit is rocking out with the Leftovers, Max HP, and all that other EV investment you guys can read on your own because it's just too much. Moves being Calm Mind, Sub, Side Shock, and Energy Ball. I thought this set would be really cool this week. It's sort of just kind of a backup plan out of nowhere because I had the option to do it this week. Calm Mind is really good against this team because I have a lot of opportunities to set it up, whether it be on Donphan switching out or Sawk switching out. I could set up on Aldino because Aldino's knockoff doesn't even break my sub, which is absolutely fantastic. And once I get one Calm Mind up, all I need is one, and I can basically trade one for almost something. Psyshock does a lot to his team. He doesn't have a dark type, and Energy Ball does good damage to his physically resistant mons. Like Donphan's pretty physically fat, so Energy Ball is going to do a ton to that. Same with Kingler. Energy Ball will do a lot to it. Don't like that I'm really slow in this set, but I feel like the defense was absolutely necessary just in case I needed to take a hit on switch in. And speaking of which, this is also my backup switch in for almost whatever Togetic can't do. So even though Togetic is my main switch into Sawk, if it goes down, at least I still have Mesprit to switch into it. And that's the same with a few other mons as well. And so that's basically the Mesprit. I hope I can at least get one kill with this set. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope it works. But if it doesn't, at least I hope Mesprit does something. But next mon is going to be Roserade. Roserade's rocking out with 240 force attack, 224 speed with Timid Nature, and 40 in HP with the Payapa Berry. Moves being Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, a Sub, and Synthesis. Again, I could have put spikes on the set if I wanted to, but I felt like the recovery would be necessary because if Rotom comes in, he's probably going to be Volt spamming a lot, and I need Roserade to stay healthy for that thing because it is a Z user, so I also have to be a little bit weary of that. But Roserade offensively isn't too bad in this game because Tornadus, even though it nukes me, it doesn't want to be switching into a Sludge Bomb, so Tornadus doesn't really want to be he can't really offensively switch into Roserade unless like he's predicting a grass move, which could be a thing if he brings one of his water types. But I also have a substitute to ease my prediction a bit. Pineapple Berry is there for Rabombi. This is a pretty nice switch into Rabombi as well because I have the Pineapple Berry, and even at like Rabombi, a Psychic with the Pineapple into another Psychic shouldn't knock out my Roserade if it's unboosted, so I'm going to keep that in mind as well. And Rabombi's really frail, so I don't really have to worry about that. And this just nukes a few other things on the team, like Donphan, the water types, Rotom, all that good stuff. And nothing really wants to switch into Sludge Bomb, so that's also another move I can pretty much spam freely against this team. But that is Roserade. Next up we have our either WinCon or at least Breaker of the Week. We have Chewy Scarf Blaziken with max attack, 216 speed with the Jolly Nature, and the rest in bulk. Moves being Flare Blitz, Superpower, Earthquake, and Rock Slide. I wanted this to be Adamant, but just in case he brought Webs, I could at least outspeed his water type still, regardless. And that's why I decided to run the Jolly Nature in the end. I didn't really need the power anyway, because Flare Blitz and Superpower, the combination of those two, is so free against this team. If Typhlosion goes down, nothing switches into Flare Blitz. Even Kingler doesn't want to take it that much. And if the Superpower is really also spammable against this team as well. Granted, Tornadus and Rabombi resist it. As I mentioned earlier, they don't want to be switching into a Flare Blitz either, so I don't think he would want to risk that. Donphan can switch in, but Donphan is known to get chipped down, so that's not going to be that big of a problem. And that's, again, Blaziken is just here to clean up late game once everything's chipped down, or at least like Sturdy on Donphan's broken, or Sturdy on Sock's broken. And I found out other things aren't Scarf, so yeah, that's kind of what Blaziken's job is. Fourth mon is going to be Empoleon. Empoleon is rocking out with the Chople Berry, max HP, 168 speed def for the Calm Nature, and 84 in defense, and a little bit in speed. Moves being Stealth Rock, Toxic Scald, and Grass Knot. This speed is to just, get a little speed creep over a non-invested Donphan. Rocks are very important in this game as Typhlosion, Tornadus, and Rabombi are very scary against my team, so getting rocks up are very good, even though if he has a lot of good defoggers. I do good against most defoggers anyway. Like, I do good against Donphan, I do good against Rabombi and Tornadus as well. It's just the Rotom that I can't really stay in on, but getting Roserade in for free basically is just a win in itself, so that's why I have rocks on this thing. Toxic is to make sure Rabombi doesn't get out of hand against me. Scald is pretty spammable. Kingler doesn't want to get burnt, or anything that's resistant doesn't really want to get burnt. And Grass Knot is for the Donphan. It was for the Kingler as well, because Kingler was, again, kind of a threat, and this is my main switch into the Kingler. Hence why I have the Chople Berry, because Superpower does a load to it. So that is why I have the Empoleon here. Our fifth mon is the Simipour. I'm very happy to bring in this thing last game of the season. Max special attack, 248 speed with a hasty nature, with the Assault Vest, moves being Scald, Ice Beam, Grass Knot, and Gunk Shot. This covers his entire team basically and can do a decent amount to everything except for the Aldino, but I have a lot to deal with the Aldino. I decided to run the Assault Vest in the end because at least I can stay in on Tornadus, tank a hit that isn't a Z. I think I can even still tank a Z move that's like Hurricane. So that is really good, and Ice Beam does over half to it. So that's why I decided to run that in the end. That same with Rabombi. I can take any +1 hit with Rabombi and then knock it out with Gunk Shot. And it's here just like Mesprit, it should trade 1 for 1, if not do even better than that, because water typing is pretty good against his team overall. And yeah, that's for the Simipour. I'm very excited I was able to bring it. I didn't bring Galvantula in the end because originally I thought I could face him in playoffs, thus Galvantula would probably come, but I brought Simipour. And finally, we have Togetic. Togetic is rocking out with max HP, 180 speed def with a Calm Nature, and 80 in defense. Moves being Dazzling Gleam, Ancient Power, Defog, and Roost. This is my Defogger, even though, again, Defogging is very scary against his team because Tornadus exists. This is my switch into a lot of his mons I needed filler, like Sock, Donphan, Rabombi. It's a decent Rabombi switch in as long as I don't let it get set up. I do have Ancient Power, though, so it does a load to it back. Dazzling Gleam is just nice overall coverage against his team. Basically, just Togetic's doing Togetic things. And that is basically the rundown of my team. Again, I could have brought Galvantula over Simipour, but I thought, hey, at the time, I could face him again. Galvantula would be great to bring the second time around, but he's not going to be in playoffs because he already lost to Huff. Thus, this game is sort of pointless, I guess. I mean, if he beat me by like 6, I think he could make it, but like he would have to beat me by a lot in order to make it. But that is it for the team builder. We're going to head over to the Pokemon Showdown, and we're going to watch the battle. Alright, we are here in Pokemon Showdown, and there is no Typhlosion on your screen, which is absolutely nuts, but I'm very happy about it regardless. I am going to lead off with my Blaziken now that Typhlosion isn't here, and his Fire Switching basically doesn't exist. Hopefully he doesn't lead off with the Donphan, because that would be the one bad thing. But you're going to see here that I end up leading off with the Blaziken, as he leads off with the Rotom-Mow. So this is looking really good for me. I can just click Flare Blitz. If he Scarf, I live any one hit. As he goes out to Savali Ghost, so that tells me this is probably his Blaziken switching. This is probably a roll to kill, so I'm not going to risk it knowing how important Blaziken is. Instead I go onto Empoleon. He pulls a really good double really early in the game. He goes into Sock, so I do have this Chople Berry, but I decided I want to save it for a little bit later for the Tornadus as I go into Togetic, but he makes a smart play and goes for knockoff, so my Eviolite's gone already. I go for Decleam because I need Sturdy broken as Rotom-Mow is going to come in. If it's Sash Rotom-Mow, then that means I just broke it, but I don't think he's going to be that. Here he can Volt Switch for basically free, as I saw this coming from a mile away, but now Tornadus comes in for absolutely free. And now I could go out into my Empoleon, but I decide here I'm going to go out into Togetic. The reason I do this is because that, believe it or not, that knockoff damage proved that the Sulk is actually not really offensive, if anything. So that, because I sacked off my Togetic here, I do have Mesprit still as a switch in, and especially since he's a little bit more defensive than anything, I don't have to worry too much. But here I can go to Blaziken and just claim a kill basically, as Savali Ghost is just going to be the sack, as I do end up getting the roll. So if I would have stayed in and maybe got the roll turn 2, I wouldn't have to go through all that. But it's whatever. Donphan could have came in, as he ends up going out in the Sock, and I could Flare Blitz this thing, but I know it has Sturdy, so I'm going to Mesprit, as he gets me on the knockoff, which was a really smart play. I wasn't expecting him to do that again, but he did. But in hindsight, it's actually better because I want to keep my Scarf, as I just want to break the Sturdy, and so I go for Psyshock as he goes for Taunt. And that shows he is max. He is max HP, max defense. Like, man, that did so little damage. I just click Psyshock again as Rotom-Mow comes in, takes more damage. Here, I don't want him to click Volt Switch, so I'm going to stay in, but this time he actually pops the Z, which kind of sucks because I lived any hit that wasn't a Z move, so that's unfortunate. My Mesprit is going to go down, and my Donphan switching is becoming very limited, so that is something I have to note of, and that's why I'm going to go on to Roserade here instead of Blaziken, because he gets in his Donphan for free, because Blaziken does not 2-ko it. So this way, this makes sure, this deteriorates Donphan from coming in, as Rotom-Mow just decides to be sacked off in the end. As Donphan comes in now, and he's going to give me all this damage on Donphan for free, which is absolutely great for me. As he does have the Super Berry though, so he's back up to 51%, but that is fine because Blaziken, he can no longer switch into Blaziken. As Rabambi's going to come in, and he's just giving me damage on everything, which is absolutely perfect. I'm completely fine with the situation. That damage on Donphan again was huge because Blaziken's Flare Blitz he can now no longer switch into, as now I can bring out my Blaziken and something dies. So I'm going to click Flare Blitz as this Rabambi is going to be the sack of choice. And now looking at it, the Simipour is actually looking really good in this game because I do have the Assault Vest. As Salk is here, and I just need damage on this, and Simipour wins. So he gives me the damage, and he's going to knock me out with the close combat. But at this point, Simipour just wins the game because I have the Assault Vest, and I can live the Hurricane from the Tornadus, especially knowing because he's not a Z move now. As I am going to go out into the Simipour and click Ice Beam because something will not appreciate it. As Salk is just going to drop. And Simipour just kind of just wraps up this game. Tornadus comes out. I am going to switch out into Empoleon because it is a no drawback play. I have the Chople Berry in case he predicts and goes for Focus Blast. But he goes for Hurricane and he misses. And that just seals the game at this point because now I can just click Scald. As he misses again, that's just kind of salt on the wound. As I get a solid 39% off. Ice Beam does like 50 to 60. But with the Life Orb hits, it would have taken on Empoleon. Ice Beam would have been able to knock it out. So I'm going to knock out this Tornadus with the Empoleon with the Scald, and at this point, it's Donphan against the world. If Donphan has a decent amount of speed, it can outspeed my Empoleon, which you see here it actually does, so this is a little more of an offensive Donphan than anything, but it's not going to save him because Simipour's Scald is going to do too much, and Simipour is able to click Scald and pick up 2 kills and win the game. So your Northside Noiverns are going to finish off the APM lower tiers with a 10-1 record, and Simipour is going to be the last member standing for this final game. But GG to Samuel. I'm really glad we could end off the season with a bang, especially against Samuel. We did end up finishing off at 2nd overall in the entire league, which is very impressive. I'm very happy about it. We missed off on 1st place by 1 differential point. Yes, we missed off by 1. It was insane, but regardless, I'm still happy. It was probably my most successful season in draft because of how good we played and how consistent I played with the team. And especially since it's my first ever league with lower tiers, it was even more successful because of that. But that is really awesome, and I hope it continues into playoffs. One more time, GG to Samuel. We do have a bye week for APM next week, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that Sunday video. I might just skip it. Might throw in a filler video, but I'm not sure yet. I do have a top 10 going up on either Tuesday or Thursday, as this should go up on Sunday. I say that because I'm very busy on Tuesday, so I'm not sure if I'm not going to be able to get it up in time. So if it's not Tuesday, it will go up on Thursday. So look out for that on the channel. That is basically going to be it. I am going to throw up the playoffs on screen now, just to mention it real quick. Me and Savage got the bye week, while it's Huff versus Lure the Acorn and Puffer versus Haunch. So we face the winner of either Huff or Lure the Acorn. Lure the Acorn is a really good battler and has a good team, while Huff is on an insane winning streak, so it's going to be hard regardless. But for our next APM video, you will see one of those two trainers. But that is going to be it for the video. Thank you guys for watching so much. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you like Pokemon Draft League content, consider subscribing to the channel. I'm gonna head out of here. Have a fantastic day, YouTube.
Gracias por mirar. Si disfrutaste, por favor deja un me gusta. Si te gusta el contenido de Pokémon Draft League, considera suscribirte al canal. Voy a salir de aquí y tener un día fantástico en YouTube.